$340,000 in revenue in a single month is what this fashion brand has been turning over. Back in November when they started working with me, they were barely scratching $80,000 a month. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact 6 steps that I took to bring this brand to hitting record-breaking months while keeping a net profit margin of 38%. Now let's dive into the video and break down the whole process. So the first part that is required for actually doing this process is that you gotta have flawless fundamentals, okay? This is not for dropshippers, this is not for print on demand. You gotta have a very strong brand and you gotta have a quality product that people actually love, okay? And with flawless fundamentals, what I mean is front end, you gotta be able to answer the questions, why should anyone buy from you? Why should anyone buy from you over competitors? Or why should anyone buy from your website instead of just going in store? And then also, why should anyone buy your product now? Okay, if you have a clear argument for those questions, it's going to be way easier to actually have a strong brand. It's required. And the other part of it is that you need strong back-end fundamentals, okay? What does that mean? It's that you have strong logistics, operations, you take most of the production in-house, you don't charge your customer with crazy shipping fees or have impossible refund policies. You need to have these things in place to have a strong brand, and that's just your entry card. Now, I'm sure most of you guys watching are already running a fashion brand, already have most of the basics in place, and what you want to know is how do I take this thing that is doing anywhere from 30 to 100,000 a month and how do I scale that up? Okay, so for this brand specifically, step number 1 was creating a viral ad, okay? What I mean with a viral ad is great content, simple content, but fast cuts, good music, showcasing the product and having a great model. That is all you're gonna need for a viral ad. And what happens is that if you have a viral ad, it's gonna get a lot of comments. People are gonna share that, people are gonna like it. It's gonna drive a lot of traffic for free that you haven't paid for. Okay. Another benefit of having a viral ad is that a lot of influencers, celebrities, verified people, they will comment on your ad as well. And when people check the comments and they see all these people saying that they love this, that they want this, that's gonna build only more social proof and authority. So before they're even going to your website, they're already primed believing that your brand is awesome, they need this product, they like the video, they like the model, and it resonates with what they want, okay? That is how you create the viral ad, and that is all that can take. Now, once you have the viral ad, everything else becomes easy. Because if you have very bad ads, it's going to be really impossible to scale any type of ad account, okay? People are seeing simple images, simple videos that they don't like, people are gonna skip that, okay? Nowadays, you need a really, really good ad, and once you have that, it's going to be really easy. You just have to give it to the algorithm, give it to the advertising platform, and it will be profitable by itself. So within the fashion industry, viral ads doesn't have to be gimmicky or UGC or any of that new hypey stuff. You just need a great model, great product, great photography shot by a great camera. Okay, if you have those things, everything else will be very easy. And to simplify it for you, this ad right here pulled in multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars just by itself, okay? And I can tell you that this ad has been shot with a simple iPhone 14 Pro. Editing was done through CapCut, and the last piece of the puzzle was just using a little bit of creativity. That's all you're going to need, okay? So all you need to create a viral ad is an iPhone 14 Pro, a little bit of creativity, and a free editing platform just like CapCut to make the cuts and add the music. That's it. That's all it takes to create an ad that can bring you multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, the way to get there, probably not gonna get it the first time right. So the process of creating the viral ad is through iteration. You create your first concepts, you test it, you see the market feedback, and from there, the next step comes making iterations, doing more of what works, stop doing what doesn't work, taking learnings, and make your third iteration. And by the 4th or 5th time that you're doing it, you're already gonna get really, really profitable ads that can take you to that $300,000 a month mark. Step number 2 is scientific advertising. So as I was saying, you gotta look at the numbers, see the feedback, and drive the results based on that. Most fashion brands, they just create advertising, throw them on the platform, and then stop there. They don't take any learnings, they don't measure, they don't analyze the ads, and they don't know how to, okay? So really the first step with any type of advertising is that you do it scientifically. Advertising and running fashion brands, it's both an art and a science, and you have to get the science down to the T. okay? You have to measure the results, you have to look at the feedback, you gotta see what's working, what's not working. Take learnings from that, and only by that process are you going to actually consistently get better ads, get more profit from your ads, and be able to scale up, okay? So you might ask, Thijs, how is the process like for scientific advertising? Well, it's very simple. Let's take Meta ads, for example. You're running some ads on Facebook or on Instagram. Step number 1, you start with 10 creatives, a little bit different. Just follow the process that I just mentioned. And what you do is you or your media buyer launches the ads on the ad platform, okay? You wait for 3 to 5 days, give the ads some time to get results. And after 3 to 5 days, you look at click-through rate, cost per purchase, and return on ad spend. And based on those 3 measures, you're going to see what has actually been working, what's not working, what do you want to do more of, and what you don't want to do, okay? That information, you want to store it in a document, you want to store it somewhere, and want to give that information to the person who's creating your ads so they get that feedback for the next round of ads. And this is how you repeat the cycle over again. Over time, you get better results, okay? This is how to test creatives, but you can use the exact same process for scaling ad sets that are working. So let's say you have a couple of winning ads, you're gonna test new audiences, okay? You launch the audiences at high budget, you look at the results after a couple of days, you see what's working, you kill what's not working, and you promote what is working. And that is a constant process, but it's important that you have a scientific process to it. So step number 3, it's the creative assembly line, okay? You might wonder from the first 2 steps is, Thijs, I'm probably gonna need a couple of ads, I'm probably gonna need a bunch of creatives, and if I have one creative that's super profitable, it will die out at some time. So what do I do? Well, that's why you need a creative assembly line. And the creative assembly line is essentially a process where you consistently create winning ads, get feedback, create new winning ads, launch them, get feedback, and create new winning ads based on iteration. And eventually that's how you consistently produce winning ads, okay? Now, how the assembly line works is that you have the person who's running the ads, you have the person who's creating the ads, and then you have the people who are creating the content, okay? These people need to be communicating with each other or getting feedback from each other in some type of way in order to consistently create better ads. And these people all need weekly targets in how much ads needs to be created, okay? Now here's the important thing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel for every single creative. So for example, let's say you only create content once every 2 months. You get a bunch of content, and from that, you can create a lot of ads. Now what you can do is if you find some pieces of content or products that are specifically working really well, what you then do is you just take that advertising, and the person who is editing and creating the ads is going to create a new hook or add a new audio or put a new call to action on the end of the ad. And this way you create more and more variations of things that are already working, okay? So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, start over at zero again, you build on your learnings and you do what's already working, but you create more variations. And that is the process to actually able to scale an ad account. So step number 4 is ever since iOS 14 happened, all of the ad accounts actually got in trouble, as you know, and everybody has been trying to scrape by. Now, back in the days, the leverage was all in structuring the ad account, okay? Having specific audiences, doing specific account structures. Now, ever since iOS 14, that stuff is not working anymore. So right now what is happening and what you see in all the ad platforms is that they're simplifying the ad platform to run, okay? So more power is given to the ad platform, and it's actually the creatives that is the only way to differentiate. It's the creatives that's the only thing where you can compete, okay? So, and also for that reason, it's very easy to scale an ad account, okay? Hear me out. So back in the days, you needed hundreds of audiences, different bid caps, CBOs, and that was the way to scale an ad account, okay? This was 3-4 years ago when that was working. That doesn't work anymore. Nowadays, all you need is a lot of winning ads, and then basically give it to Facebook or Instagram, give it to Twitter or TikTok, and let the algorithm algorithm decide how to do the targeting. So this means that the only campaigns that you're going to need is one testing campaign, one scaling campaign, and maybe an additional campaign to run specific collection launches or promotions that you want to do. But you don't have to make it more complicated than that. And the real benefit of doing that is that you can run a huge ad account, have it completely organized and simplified, and you can be extremely profitable, and you don't need a lot of time. You can run an ad account like this in less than 4 hours per week. And that brings me to step number 5, which is the 2-person in-house growth team, okay? So you heard me saying creative is important. You need to do as much as possible in-house, but you need that feedback from how the creatives are doing, how the content is doing, how the edits are doing. And for that reason, it's not going to work if you're working with 3 outside agencies or outside parties to make that happen. So the real advantage that fashion brands can have in this day and age is bringing things in-house and actually scale their business with a 2-person in-house team, okay? All you're going to need is one CMO who manages most of the marketing and one creatives person who does most of the creatives. That is all you're going to need, all the way up to $340,000 a month. And that is the exact same team that was needed for that process of the fashion brand that we helped from 80 to 340K per month. Just to summarize again, you need flawless fundamentals in place, okay? Focus on that first because that's where most of your leverage is. Step number 1 is the assembly of a viral ad, okay? Just having one viral ad can bring you multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? Step number 2 is run your ads and test your ads scientifically. If you don't know what is working, what's not working, you're gonna be losing a lot of money. Okay. Step number 3 is build the creative assembly line, because one ad is great, but you're gonna be needing a lot of viral ads, and you need an iterative process that actually brings feedback from one party to the other. And you need a system that produces consistently winning ads every single week so you can keep scaling your ad accounts. Step number 4 is to organize and structure your ad accounts with simplicity. And step number 5 was wrap it up with an in-house growth team who can then scale your business for you and be way more effective, okay? These were the exact steps that we used for this brand. It worked for that brand. It works for a bunch of other brands. I don't say that it is the way, but it is the way that works for fashion brands that I work with right now, okay? If you want to learn more about how this process works, I created an entire document outlaying every single step in detail with all the resources attached to it. If you want to have that, click the link in the description. You can get direct access to that document. That's it, and have a good day.